Hi Leo, this is your reading for February 2019. Thank you for joining. Please set aside anything that you're doing so you're not multitasking, and all of your attention is here with me for the reading. Settle into a comfortable and relaxed posture and focus on your breathing for a few moments. With each exhalation, release any tension or anxiety that you might be feeling. Check in with your higher self and your guides and ask them to reach out to my higher self and my guides so that we can create a feedback loop of information to get very clear, relevant, and precise messages that are tailored for you. The sun came out as I was shuffling, so I decided to leave it out. I'm going to just keep that here to the side. And let's go. Interesting. Very, very interesting cards for you, Leo. My first impression here, the Magician just is there at the top of the deck. I'm going to put that there. I feel like these cards are exactly where they need to be. I'm going to say first off that my initial impression as the cards went down is that you might be dealing with a little bit of heaviness this month. Like you might have to do some dealings with the law unexpectedly. First things that jumped out at me actually when the cards went down is that you have this Ten of Swords in reverse at the heart of the reading, and then there's the Death card here as well in this quadrant, and then the crossing card is the Hierophant, and in the hopes and fears position you have Justice. So there's kind of like some pretty strong cards here that could be indicating that some of you might actually be dealing with a death. And in which case I offer my condolences. I'm sorry if you have experienced the loss of a loved one this month. I feel like that might be true for some people here watching this reading. Otherwise, I'll try to keep the interpretations broad so that you can all make it apply if it's relevant for you rather than getting into specifics. But yeah. So Magician and the Sun have come out here in the reading, and I feel like I want to talk about those first because that feels really powerful. It does feel like there is a kind of I feel like auspiciousness is here. There's an auspiciousness here, even though some of you might be going through some heavy stuff, and there might be some challenging and unforeseen things to deal with, which may involve legal matters. As I mentioned, you might be dealing with institutions, you might be dealing with the law, you might have to be in court, you might have to deal with authorities in some way. It could also be a very positive and beneficial energy as well. There could be some kind of issue here around, let's say, contracts or visas or some kind of bureaucratic thing that will give you opportunities. I feel like there's opportunities here with these cards, with the Sun and the Magician. I also feel that for some of you, there could be for a small percentage of you watching, or maybe even just one person watching this, you might be dealing with like an inheritance. That could be what some of this like death energy is, with like legal stuff and authority figures. There could be for some of you like inheritance coming, because you also have this Eight of Pentacles at the crowning card. So there is some like money, financial issues around this month too, I think, for some of you. Now let's go into the central axis of the reading here, from the subconscious mind into the conscious mind here, so we can like start to get into specifics on the spread itself. So you have the Two of Swords at the foundation of the reading in the upright position. So for some of you, if this reading is about your work, and certainly that would be indicated here by the Eight of Pentacles, it would seem like for some of you, you may be looking at or wanting to change your job or move to a different job if you're feeling not happy, and that could also be what this Ten of Swords here in reverse at the heart of the reading could be saying, that you may be looking to kind of end your situation at work and move on to something different, especially if this Hierophant card here as the crossing card is indicating that your challenge is some type of authority figure that you're not getting along with, and you may be looking at kind of moving to a new job in order to kind of feel a little bit more ease and grace in your work environment. That could be true for some of you. There's also this Three of Pentacles with the Queen of Swords in the outcome position, which could also indicate that, you know, you may not be enjoying your work. There might be one individual, which could be represented by this Queen of Swords in reverse here. It's someone at work that's kind of annoying to deal with. They might be gossipy, they might be talkative, they might be just annoying in general. They might be like a dishonest person. This could be someone what's the word? Conceited, or doing some kind of underhanded stuff, like undermining your ability to do your job in some way. And that might be like if you're working in a team with this person and you're finding it frustrating, it could also be part of this central axis here where it says that your work environment you're looking at making a change in your work. There's also here now from this axis here, which was this reading, this energy across the central axis running horizontal kind of is a read on your physical energy. You have the Four of Pentacles in reverse here coming into the reading, with the Ten of Swords in reverse at the center, and then the Nine of Swords in the outcome position, both in reversed. So I feel that there could also be here again like energy going out. Energy going out. I do feel like this again could be indicative of a physical death. Like, you know, the Four of Pentacles in reverse is energy leaving, energy going out, like energy diminishing, or I'm hearing evacuating here, evacuating. But in terms of like the context of the other cards, if this is a work reading and there is this energy here of like maybe you're feeling unsatisfied at work and there's like a feeling of wanting to make a change, I feel like this Eight of Swords here in the position of the outcome in reverse is actually very beneficial energy, suggesting that you have reached a point where you are feeling more empowered. Actually, it's a more empowered position actually when it's in reverse, the Eight of Swords, because it does say that like you have gained some kind of understanding which is enabling you to remove the blindfold and untangle yourself so that you can actually move forward and make decisions that are better for you, because you're not in a position where information is hidden from you. So this is more empowerment through information being revealed. Now let's go back to these cards here at the foundation. I didn't really touch much on that except for the Death card here. So let's go into this. You have the Ace of Pentacles with the Lovers, and the Page of Wands with the Death card. For some of you, this is about a beginning of a new relationship. Feeling like having met someone, it could be a recent encounter with someone that feels very chemical, like there's a chemistry there there's a lot of attraction, but it feels deeper than that. There's a lot of attraction, but there's also a feeling like there could be the potential for some kind of long-term thing with this person. Because if you look in the image of this Ace of Pentacles card, you see this little portal here. It's like a gateway into some kind of distant future. You can see like an image there of like mountains off into the distance. So it does lend itself to the interpretation that there is like a heart opening and a chemical, physical attraction, with also a physical sense of like a long-term enduring kind of connection here. So that could be there for some of you. There could be like an opening up of some kind of new romantic, intimate relationship with somebody. And I feel that in that interpretation, for whoever that reading is for, that would then say that the reading, these cards here in this quadrant with Death and the Page of Wands, this is I feel suggesting that for some of you this is an end to a time where like your kind of, how do I say that, immature kinds of flirtations with people are over. Like I feel like you might have been around people recently, or just in general, you might have not felt like you wanted to commit to anything in particular and you just wanted to kind of play the field. That's kind of what I'm getting from this Page of Wands character. something just a little bit lighthearted and flirtatious and passionate, fleeting encounters that may not have had any kind of sense of like something beyond, you know, a couple of dates or whatever. And this might be describing your energy, where you may have decided that kind of time might be over for you, and you're ready to kind of enter into a situation with someone where you're willing to kind of be a little bit more committed and a bit more serious and have a sense of something a bit more long-term with a future involved. You know, you might be using this time to kind of envision further. And then these are the only two cards I haven't really spoken on much. You have the King of Wands here with the Justice card, both upright. And this is in the position of your hopes and fears. What do I say here? This could also be, again, describing like the person that is showing up here in this dynamic. This could be someone that is, again, like a little bit more, like this person could be very much worthy of your attention and worthy of your like consideration, in the sense that this person is quite evolved, very, very, like this person is conscious, this person is awake, this person has a very like, has experience, has a warm heart. I feel this person is very compassionate, has a very open-hearted, kind of aware personality. They're also fun to be around. This person is established in their own energy, in their own authority, in their own sense of achievement. This person has achieved. This person has tried many things and has been quite successful in a few different areas, I would say. And it's a good person. Like having him here with the Justice card says to me, this person is a good moral character. This person has values that match yours, and that you can feel met by this person. So I feel like on this diagonal axis, that would be kind of like what this is saying here. Like this meeting of someone here, if it's this person, this fiery person, and it doesn't matter about gender. It's just describing the archetype of someone who's established, someone who's really embodying and mastering the kind of fiery element of like achievement and compassion and intuition, awareness. I'm hearing compatibility. There's a compatibility here for you with this person. So that reading felt a little bit all over the place, but I feel like that I just have to pass those messages on. Bottom of the deck, Four of Cups, Moon reversed, King of Cups, Six of Swords. Just give me a second. Not totally sure there. Just give me a moment. I feel like this Four of Cups with the Moon. I think that for some of you, there might be something that you're going through at the moment where you might be faced with something uncomfortably true. You might be faced with something uncomfortably true about yourself that may have been brought to you by someone else's attention. And you're kind of like not really that interested in acknowledging it or seeing it. But I feel like it's important to actually, even if you don't necessarily agree at first with what you're understanding or what you're learning, what you're hearing from someone. This could be feedback from someone, could be this person, could be someone else. I feel that there is a need here for you to take a moment to just like set aside your initial reaction, which is to disregard and blow off what someone said and react in a kind of like huff or in a defensive way, and just kind of take some time to like sit back and like actually really think about what they've said. You don't have to do it in front of the person, do it in your own time and space, but I feel like there could be for some of you something uncomfortably true about something that someone has told you recently that needs your attention, it needs your contemplation. And I think the message here is about never mind the vehicle that the message came to you through, but just actually take the energy of what you've received and just genuinely contemplate that, and give it the time it needs to actually see if there's something there or not. I think that's it for that message. And then here, this King of Cups with the Six of Swords. I feel like this could also be connected to this Lovers and Ace of Pentacles energy. Like if that message that was there is for you, and you have recently met someone, and you feel like there is like it's worthwhile considering whether or not this person is someone that you could kind of give a little bit more time and energy to, just to see what unfolds. This could be a different type of person. It could be another archetype for a different person. Like this you have the King of Wands and the King of Cups. It could just be describing another archetype of someone that is showing up for some of you, whereby there is also that same kind of, there's a similar description there, but this person's a little bit more watery, maybe less. This person is maybe less extroverted and more introverted, but also still has those similar kind of qualities of having been quite aware and awake and working on themselves quite consistently over time, and has a level of achievement, has some success in the material world, has some success in their, you know, personal development. And this Six of Swords here with this person could be describing, you know, like the feeling that this person gives you is that they kind of help take you away from troubled times. They kind of give you this feeling of like, I'm hearing rescue, but I don't really like that really in terms of like relationship. I'll set aside my own opinion and just pass on the message. The feeling is there of rescue, and it's a feeling of like better times are ahead with this. If you kind of spend time with this person, it's like good times are ahead, better times are ahead. It's an improvement. It's an improvement in your situation. Okay, I think that's it. Let me just check if there's anything else here. That reading felt a little bit patchwork to me. Like I felt like there was different messages for different people in there. I hope you found that somehow helpful and valuable. Let me know in the comments. I'm going to take the Voyager deck now. I do feel like I need to say something else about this Sun and Magician card together, because I feel like there is like a lot of auspicious energy here with these two cards having come out of the reading. It's very auspicious, even though like I do feel like some of you might be going through some difficult stuff there, but there's also a lot of like blessing. There's like a positive energy with this Magician and the Sun in the Lovers and the Ace of Pentacles. There's a feeling of like brightness and optimism that's coming through, even though it may look a little bit less cute at home, you know. I feel like it is better times. Better times are coming like in now with the influence of these archetypes. All right, let's go back to the higher octave reading now with the Voyager deck. So take some time here to again settle into your breathing and just focus on me shuffling, and send your energy over into the deck. If you haven't watched my channel before, the higher octave reading is designed to provide a little bit more insight on what's happening on a higher octave, in a spiritual level and a karmic level, to hopefully provide some more insight on what's happening and how best to deal with the opportunities that we are being dealt, and how to best move with grace and how to work with what's available to us. So send your energy into the deck so I can get some really clear messages for you. Ace of Wands, Ten of Worlds, Fortune, which is the Wheel of Fortune, Devil's play in this deck. It's in reverse here at the bottom of the deck, at the foundation. The Moon in reverse, Judgment upright. So 4 major arcana cards here. Woman of Wands, 10 of crystals in reverse, the Universe, which is the world, upright, 6 of crystals, which is the same as the 6 of swords that you had here in the previous reading, 9 of crystals, which you also had in the previous, sorry, no, that was the 10. Seven of Wands, Five of Wands, and Five of Crystals. Okay. The first thing that stands out to me about this higher octave spread here is that I don't really see a lot of people. There's you here represented by the Woman of Wands. That's you in your element here. But I feel like that the message of this spread here has a lot more to do with like there's energy here around like mind. There's a lot of mind cards. There's a lot of crystals cards in the spread, and that relates to the swords, which is the air element. And interestingly also, you have coming into the spread in the position of the recent past. So this is the energy coming into the reading. You have the moon in reverse, which you had in the extended cards from the general reading. So I feel that there's a lot here to do with uncovering information that's been hidden in the mind. Some of it could be unconscious. Some of it could just be things that you have held to be true but that may not actually be true anymore. They might have been true at one point, but I feel like there's energy here around really sifting through ideas and like concepts in the mind that you hold that need to be let go of in order for you to kind of make a breakthrough. Because there is energy here around like closing a cycle and starting a new one. You have universe here and time space, and these cards refer to the Judgment and the World card from the Rider-Waite deck. So it's the two final cards of the major arcana. They're both upright here. The Judgment is in the position of your outcome, and the universe is in the position of your hopes and fears. So that says to me that like fundamentally you may be going through a kind of challenging period right now where there's this moment of like raw truth being revealed. As I said, moon in reverse and all these swords cards. You might be, and as I said in the previous reading, there might have been some information came to you recently from a person, and I feel like you may not want to hear, you may not want to receive the information that person gives because you may not like that person. But the message I got was that it's about just receiving the information, and regardless of the source of the message, just give it a genuine consideration, because regardless of who it came through, the message might have something relevant for you to pay attention to that could actually be very beneficial and help you to resolve something. Because there is a lot of cards here that are saying, you know, there is things you need to let go of, mostly ideas, I'd say. 10 of Crystals in reverse with a 5 of Wands, oppression. So, you know, 10 of Crystals you had in the previous reading as the central card of your spread. It's kind of gruesome looking in this deck, you know, this one here with all the swords. But it's here again in your higher octave reading. Doesn't quite look as scary in this deck, but nonetheless, it does indicate that there is some work to do. It's called delusion in this deck, so slightly different interpretation, I would say. But my feeling is that there is energy here, and in this quadrant as well, as I said, you have the Woman of Wands, which is your own card, with the 5 of Crystals in reverse. So 2 5s here at the foundation of the reading. I do get this feeling like there is some kind of like, I'm hearing extraction. I think there's some purification that needs to happen in the mind space, like in the field of the mind, and like things like concepts and ideas, whether it's about other people or about yourself or even just in general about life. There's ideas that you need to kind of remove, extract, and like delete or burn or dissolve or whatever, to kind of like remove limiting thoughts, remove kind of concepts that keep you in a certain space of a type of capacity that is somewhat limiting. And I feel that there's something here about like your intuition is really starting to blossom, and that's I think what the Moon card is offering too. The Moon and Woman of Wands in this position here. I feel these two cards together are kind of describing how there is like a kind of exponential sort of opening to like a psychic faculty or an intuitive awareness. You've always been intuitive, but there's some kind of like extra little push that you're getting now that's opening up things in a bit more I'm hearing holistic way. But I feel like in order for you to really flourish in that capacity, there is some like negativity that needs to be faced, acknowledged, and released. And it doesn't have to be necessarily like big dramatic things. Just like, okay, you're ready to move on from that kind of belief that at one point was serving and now is a little bit limiting. And at the center of the reading, you have Ace of Wands upright crossed by the Ten of Worlds. Ace of Wands, again, I'm getting from this card the energy of like healing energy. I feel like there is like, as I mentioned, some of you are opening up now to a more intuitive capacity, and some of you may actually want to take that in the direction of the healing work, and that's could be what this indication is here with this card. And then having it crossed by the Ten of Worlds, I feel that for some of you, maybe you're feeling a little bit challenged by the responsibilities of the family. I feel like some of you kind of like are really opening up to a specific type of awakening where you kind of just want to dedicate your time and energy to really see what's going on with you, what's going on. Like, and maybe some of you are feeling a bit stressed out and a bit challenged by having a lot of responsibilities at home with family members to kind of be the caregiver and be the support person and be the provider. And some of you may just wish to throw all that off and like run off to the nearest ashram. I don't have any advice for you about that, I'm sorry. The crowning card is Fortune, which I'd like to see this. This feels very much like what this Sun and Magician card were offering in the previous reading. This Fortune card here relates to the Wheel of Fortune from from the Rider-Waite deck. And it is the card that kind of describes like a shift in the course of your life in a better way. Like this card is ruled by Jupiter, so it's offering that kind of beneficial energy of support and expansion and growth, and I'm hearing release as well. Again, I just feel like there's a lot of support for you in the astrological alignments and in general, like from your spirit guides, from your own drive. Like you're really I'm feeling like there's a lot of energy here towards like taking things up a notch. And I think that there is like a shedding that's going on. That's what I feel like. The Judgment card here with the Moon, and also the World card as well. In this quadrant here, this is the hopes and fears. You have the Universe, which as I said is the World card. It's this one here. And then this is called Seven of Wands. It's called Courage from the fire suit, the wand suit. So this is the position of your hopes and fears. I feel that what this is speaking to is that there is definitely like a really strong desire in you to kind of close out a cycle and move into the next, stage of your experience where you're kind of opening up to more powerful, potent energies of magic and qualities of like deeper intuitive knowing of certain things, and just having a greater sense of like connection and understanding, and that kind of brings a greater sense of calmness in life for you, and just opening up to more kind of courage and wisdom and love. And as I said, I do feel like this is connected here with this Ten of Pentacles, as I was describing earlier. I think there is some I think some of you may be feeling limited or restricted by responsibilities in family life. Now here you have in the outcome position Six of Crystals, Nine of Crystals, and Time Space. I kind of want to read these three cards together and there's actually there's quite a few crystals cards in the spread, and those, as I said, relates to the Swords suit, which is a lot to do with mind and concepts and ideas. And yeah, Six of Crystals here with the Nine of Crystals. I do feel that there is, as I said earlier, like extraction to do. There's like extraction of ideas, and like I feel like that you may be in a process right now where you're kind of like singling out ideas one at a time, and actually like just looking at them and considering them, and wondering like, am I going to keep this, or am I going to Marie Kondo this? Does it spark joy? Keep only what you need, and let go of the rest, with gratitude, of course. So let's have a look at the bottom of the deck. I do feel that for some of you, like this may not be necessarily a comfortable time, like seeing the Judgment card come out here in this position with these two Swords cards here. I do feel like there is a kind of there can be a little bit of that sometimes discomfort that comes with changes that happen when you are really like opening up to kind of fresher frequencies that you may not have had much experience with. It does involve sometimes some discomfort in that you kind of have to acknowledge older energies that you have been working with that are now outmoded and need to be removed. But you've kind of got to, it's like a kind of a detachment process, you know. In order to extract, you've got to kind of first acknowledge that you have actually had an attachment to that idea or that thing, and in order to move on and let it go, you kind of got to acknowledge that it's not really true for you anymore. And sometimes that can involve people, and that can sometimes be uncomfortable. So here you have Justice again. You had that in the previous reading. It's called Balance in this deck. It's in reverse. Lovers is in reverse. Eight of Wands in reverse, and Magician in reverse. So again, some repeating cards from the previous spread. Again, I feel here that maybe for some of you there is, as I touched on just at the end there could be like this feeling like disconnection from people that you've been close to at one time, and you may be kind of moving away from certain social circles or certain friends. Certain types of interactions may not really feel that interesting to you at all anymore. And that you may be in a bit of an uncomfortable space, as I said, while you're in this kind of transitional time where you're kind of moving into different circles, or maybe just like kind of taking some time alone. You might be, actually I saw the Hermit there. I'm going to take that because I feel like that's relevant. Some of you might be finding that you're actually spending a little bit more time alone, and you may feel lonely, but you also may feel like you need that time and you want that time to kind of really like get through what you're going through in a really like clarifying way, you know. I do think it's important that at this time, like if you are going through something like this, that you are very particular and very specific and very like deliberate when you choose close friends to speak with when you're having some kind of challenging time. That you ask people, you share with people that you know are going to meet you in the right place, and they're not going to kind of take you down the roads of like gossip or victimhood or negativity, but will actually kind of help you process information in a way that will actually bring you to a place of understanding that's a bit more heightened, even if it is a tough time. So be careful, choose wisely who you decide to share with. Now let's just see if there's anything else here. Yeah, I mean, I really do like these two cards here together that came out in the previous reading. The Sun with the Magician, both upright. They are both lending a very auspicious and beneficial kind of energy to the reading, where I feel like they're offering a lot of empowerment and support for you through this time. The only way out is through. So just keep moving forward, Leo. If you have any questions or comments, please hit me up in the comment section and I'll get to you there. I hope you found this reading helpful and enlightening, and I appreciate your time. Thanks for watching. Thanks also for your subscription. It's an honor and a pleasure to read for you, and I look forward to seeing you in next month's reading.